Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we'll be investigating the new fourth studio record from the Canadian indie alternative rock band Tokyo Police Club. Their project is entitled TPC, you know, the acronym for the name of the band. Or you know what, maybe it's Toilet Paper Construction. No, Toga Party Committee? What about Time Passes Casually? Oh, what does it matter? I'm just killing time here and making things more cryptic than they have to be. More about the band though. Tokyo Police Club are from Newmarket, a place that is really close to my local music scene yet so far. They were formed back in 2005 and consist of vocalist and bassist David Monks, keyboardist Graham Wright, guitarist Josh Hook, and drummer Greg Alsop. My first exposure to this band came back in 2010 with the single Bambi from their second record release, Champ, a song that sparked my serious musical interest and curiosity to check out multiple Canadian alternative acts at the time while listening to the rock radio station from Oshawa on the daily. And 8 years since the release, I continue to play Bambi from time to time, and I cherish the fond memories it brings me from the easier, laid-back days of summer. Between 2010 and now, TPC have released 2 albums, one in 2014 called Force Field, which I never knew was in existence until I reviewed this new album, which is obviously coming out in 2018 here. And despite my forgotten interest in Tokyo Police Club, which mainly stems from the reason that I branched out from them to other rock acts, I still find it easy to slip back into their music even years later. You know, because some artists like Psy and Skrillex don't seem to be sticking with me for their influential pop and dubstep movements that have aged just as badly as rotten cheese. But back on track with rock, if you're into an artist like Our Lady Peace, you'll have no troubles getting into Tokyo Police Club. On the newest record from TPC, there's a great sense of comfort achieved, noted by the pop can cracking at the beginning of the song Hercules, an infectious single that pushes the tone emphasis on the backbeats of the rhythm, something that feels organic and natural to write and record. Elsewhere, the loose summery feel of Simple Dude is another highlight on this record that throws abrasive guitar strumming in the right channel, while the echoing keyboards from Graham are textured with the guitars and the musical passages between the chorus and verses, feeling reminiscent to the Little Hell era of City and Color. Despite that comparison, the most appealing part of this band for me personally has always been the vocals from David. He definitely possesses a unique voice that can also be the most divisive part of enjoying this music. And on this record, TPC, David plays his part with alternating melodies with band members on the track Unseen, a 6/8 jam that showcases screeching guitars with a singer who seems to conjure up his confidence from raw and straightforward recording sessions that probably have everyone play at the same time, just like a rock concert. In addition to this, the guitar lines that mimic the vocals building to the chorus also go over nicely and complement the dynamics and the tone of the track. More acronyms creep in on the track listing by the 6th song, DLTFWYH. Don't worry, I'm not going to bother making anything up with that one, as I typically do with my mnemonics for studying, so we'll just leave it at this. It's a great track that captivates the audience with the narrator saying that he should be feared. More importantly, the conviction on this track is presented with the heavily distorted guitars, bass, and drum thumps before swelling into a cathartic release just after the 2-minute mark. David again flourishes with throwing shouts almost randomly to match the chaotic nature of the track. It's the epitome of the album's value in my opinion. More blatantly defined, what I'm complimenting here is the rhythmic nature of the vocals and how they are used to match the instrumentation. Everything is really playful, and you can tell that this band has been together for a long time and they just gel really well together. However, even with the longevity of this group, the downsides of the record are not ignorable. Tracks like Can't Stay Here and One of These Days just sound like TPC on cruise control with nothing sticking out for the tracks, and they kind of bleed together and are just mediocre in the grand scheme of the album. Not bad, they're just songs that tend to meander to find something to say while failing to capture my attention for the entire 4-minute run times. Outside of that critique, there's not much to complain about. The track Out of Time feels like a reprise to DLFWYH before fading into a spacey and odd outro, almost making me feel like I'm looking into the abyss with nothing to say. It's from there that the next cut, Ready to Win, is spawned out of nothing and is decorated with about 25 F-bombs on an acoustic arrangement, which is basically saying that we need to screw up and accept our mistakes in order to carry on and tackle the next challenge. And yes, a lot of people might be turned off by how many times the track drops F-bombs, but I think it's all artistically justified with the negative mindset you can have with everything and how this pessimism can consume you in a vicious cycle. This track is also made genuine, from the personal tidbits we get from David about disappointing his family to actual successes like playing on Letterman. He's really just saying that he sees all these experiences as a way to approach the next big thing in his life. And after facing these problems and challenges, he's primed to attack and win, just like how he tells his listeners that they can do the same thing. The closing track on TPC is also compelling for its lyrical content, as it sees the narrator dangling or dancing between feeling confident with falling in love, but also feeling unsettled like he could personally fall apart. Ultimately, the narrator leaves the story in question in a state of fragility and confusion of where to go from here, as he says he's stuck memorizing the VHS just to start watching it all over again. It really is a painful end to the narrative when the instrumentation feels so easygoing and lighthearted. It kind of just takes you for a surprise in a climactic fashion. This essentially just leaves me to talk about the two opening tracks from the record New Blues and Pigs, which feel like they bite off similar vibes to DLTFWYH and Hercules respectively. Something that is my biggest issue with this record, and it does detract from the variety of sounds on here. Especially if people were to complain that this album sounds the same all the way throughout, I wouldn't disagree with them. Altogether though, the positives outweigh the negatives on TPC. It's a good album, not great, but it's something I would have expected from the group had I known their trajectory from the previous album they put out. Focusing on the highlights, this record appropriately fills my need for nostalgic, easy listening pop, perfect for road trips or a lazy Sunday around the house with nothing to do. And on the flip side, the vocals are hit or miss. An odd time they come across as nasally, but occasionally it works well with the aesthetic of the album. More importantly, the record piques my interest in Tokyo Police Club's music again, and it has me looking forward to hearing from them in the future. And for the grand music scene of 2018, TPC will definitely go under the radar of many critics, but I believe it's a record that regains a sense of relevance to guitar as an instrument. Like, I'm not saying that there's anything new or magical happening here, like it's reinventing a style or calling on the next generation of rockers, but it's definitely amusing for its creative playfulness between the musician and the vocalist. Altogether, I'm feeling a 7 out of 10. Sound off down below in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Agree or disagree. I'm here to engage with you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. My name is Ryan from True North Reviews, and as always, have a rockin' day. Thanks for watching.